Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World, and I'm sorry this is going to be my third video talking about Deviljho, but this is going to be hopefully a build that will help a lot of you guys out there because apparently a lot of people are having problems with the Deviljho quest, and therefore today I sat down at the studio and I was like, okay, let's try to work out a build that can hopefully help people out actually completing this particular event. Now, I'm not saying that I'm completing the Tempered Deviljho quest without any issue whatsoever, but I definitely don't think that he's unsurmountable, but I do understand that there are a lot of people that are either new to Monster Hunter or are just not accustomed to the difficulty spike that was the Tempered Deviljho, and therefore I wanted to try and do something to help you guys out, okay? So I named this particular build the Ironman, and this is actually not a build that I am going to keep, if I'm to be completely honest, because I had to pour way too many Zenny into this build. And the reason is because every single piece of armor in this build is augmented to max level. That is quite the investment, and if you are not ready to invest that much Zenny into it, this build is not going to work as well as you are seeing in the video in the background, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, let's get started. When it comes to weapons, this build actually allows you to use whatever weapon you want because it is not optimized for any particular weapon. My personal recommendation is basically take whichever weapon you are the most comfortable with so that you have an easier time dealing with Tempered Deviljho. However, if you are comfortable with a weapon with a shield, that does give you a couple of advantages, specifically because of a couple of parts that I have in this set. But I will tell you what you have to replace in case you want to use a weapon that does not have a shield, and it is not mandatory to use a weapon with a shield. Now let's get started. In my particular case, I'm using the Oppressor's Charge Blade mostly because it is one of my favorite weapons in the game right now. So whenever I have a chance to use it, I use it, and I've been practicing quite a bit of Charge Blade so that I can get better at Charge Blade because I've been having a lot of fun with Charge Blade. Anyway, moving on. The first piece of gear that we have in here is Valhazak Helm Beta. This one's got peak performance, but peak performance is not really a super relevant skill. It's more kind of a bonus thing that we're going to be getting. The main reason we're using Valhazak's gear is because I want to get super recovery. Moving onwards, we have the Valhazak Male Beta. Now, this one actually has something really cool, which is recovery speed, and this is going to come really handy in the finalized version of this build. After that, we have the Valhazak Braces Beta. This again comes with peak performance, and this will actually enable our super recovery set bonus. So then we have the Valhazak Coil Beta, which comes in with that last peak performance point, and then to finalize, I have the Kushala Cruise Beta. Initially, I was thinking about doing the full Valhazak set, but ultimately the legs only really have the Effluvia resistance thing, and I'm like, we don't need Effluvia resistance to go ahead and fight Deviljho. So I might as well get Kushala Cruise, which gives us a little bit of evade extension, which again allows you to dodge his attacks a little bit better and also gives you a little bit more overall mobility in the fight. Then when it comes to the charm, I have an Ironside Charm 3. This gives you a guard, which essentially is good if you're using any weapon with a shield. If you do not have a weapon that has a shield, my advice would be go for the upgrade that gives you increased defense, and then you can swap a couple of gems around. Or basically, you can put whatever you want in this particular slot. If you don't want to take additional defense, if you don't want to take a guard, you can put whatever charm you want in there. Usually, I just go for charms that increase my survivability. So in this case, we got the guard. It allows you to block real good. It is also important that for this set, I use a specific mantle, which is the Rocksteady Mantle, because every now and then you can actually afford to go balls deep against Deviljho. You can just go all out and he's not going to be able to stagger you. Then finally, health booster if you are getting pinned down and if you're taking tons of damage. So like I said, the whole point of this particular build is to survive his attacks as long as possible whilst being able to recover and still being able to dish out some damage. And therefore, the gems that we're using are Shield Jewel 2. Now this enables you to block every single move he does because there's a move that he does that is pretty much unblockable, but again, if you are not using a weapon with a shield, then go ahead, remove this, and put in whatever the hell you want, like an additional evade extension is actually good because you gain even more mobility for weapons that don't have a shield, but it's completely up to you. Then we have 3 Vitality Decorations. This is going to max out your health pool, which is going to be important if you want to really take those hits. Then we have 1 recovery jewel. This is going to max out our recovery, which when stacked with the super recovery that Valhazak has, is actually going to increase our recovery quite a bit, and we're going to be regenerating all the time. Then we have 4 defense decoration slots because we want to have as much defense as we can possibly get. Looking at the finalized build, we have defense boost level 4. Again, if you do not have a shield, you can swap out that charm and then you can get maximum defense boost. Then you also have health boost level 3, recovery boost level 3, peak performance level 3, guard level 3, evade extender, and guard up. Again, you can swap a couple of these things around, but ultimately, one of the most important things is that you are looking at 471 physical defense before any buffs. Now, once you go to buff yourself at the canteen, my advice, get the fish plate because that is going to increase your defense even more. And then once you actually get onto the quest, use armor skin as well as demon drug. And there's even another potion which is called the Immunizer, which increases your regeneration. And if you are using a weapon that requires stamina, like say a bow or dual blades, make sure to also bring dash juice so that you can go ahead and keep your stamina regeneration in check, because we have no stamina regeneration skills whatsoever in this build. And finally, another advice that I have, always have your flash pods equipped on your character, because if he happens to land that special grab attack on you, that is going to hurt a lot. As a matter of fact, he can wombo combo you and kill you. Make sure that when he does that and he throws you onto the ground, point the flash pod to the ground, shoot it there right in front of him. That's going to stagger him. It's going to allow you to get back up before you get wombo comboed to death. The other thing is, take tools to capture him, because that will shorten your hunt time, and that will mean you do not have to fight him in his nest where he is super dangerous. So just take capture materials, capture him. It will be faster and it will be easier. Hopefully these tips and this build will help some of you guys out. I realize this is an extremely expensive build because you need to fully upgrade every piece of armor to really get as much defense as possible. But as you can see, it is well worth it if you are really struggling and you really just want to beat him. This is one of the ways to go ahead and do it. Again, I'm actually going to be removing this build. I uploaded my save onto the cloud and I'm going to save scum to get rid of this build because this is not the way that I personally want to do it. I want to go with a little bit more offensive builds and stuff like that. But again, if you are struggling, hopefully this build helps you out. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.